physics. Like me never expect it. And because I didn't expect it, it threw me off. It threw me off big. You know, here's how it threw me off as well. It affected my self-esteem and my confidence. I was thinking that after having my baby.
Hey guys, so what's up? So on my postpartum journey, I'm now 14 days into it, and I would like to share my experience thus far. So welcome back to Cassie Does Life. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Of course, I have my notes here with me, and the first thing on my list is just perennial postpartum swelling. Now, I've actually never heard about this before, and that's why I'm starting out with it first. So I've watched a lot of videos, I've done a lot of research, but nobody ever said in any of this that, hey, you know, sometimes when you have edema or swelling during pregnancy, sometimes it gets worse after you've given birth. Nobody ever mentioned it in a postpartum video, postpartum research. Nobody no mention it. Nah, expect it. And I had me some big foot, people. My foot they big. Like my swelling, my foot was so huge. My thighs were huge, and I was looking forward to getting rid of that. Right? Fast forward, now labor is done with. I have my baby boy beside me. This is the night of giving birth. Alright? So I've given birth already. This is now night. I got up, went to the bathroom. I was unrecognizable. I got up, I peed, gone through all that stress which I got to talk about in a little while. Peed, got up, went to the basin only to see this person in front of me that I cannot recognize. My face had a different shape. My eyes were swollen. I looked so different. I was like there squinting in the mirror like, what is this? Am I seeing right? Am I seeing right? Am I having a dream? Like I'm going through these thoughts, like what's going on? Am I having a dream? I'm feeling my face, I'm feeling my eyes, I'm feeling everything, and I'm saying like, what's going on? Why you look like that? You know? And I was just unrecognizable to myself. So too that one of the midwives that came in the next morning knew me, and she was like, Cass, you look different, eh? You know, that was like, she's a midwife, and she's saying to me, you look different, eh? So I remember going to the bathroom one night at home as well. And when I went to the bathroom for the first time, and I peed, went to the mirror again, went to wash my hands, and I saw the face again, and the face looked kind of different. Yo, me look like my 40-year-old and my 50-year-old self. Me not exaggerate. Like when I looked at the person, I'm looking back at me and I feel the face and everything. Me look like my 50-year-old self, like I'm convinced of the age for that week there. My face looked jacked up. That swelling was really bad. So that was one of the experiences that I had. Postpartum edema that licked my physics. Like me never expect it. And because I didn't expect it, it threw me off. It threw me off big. You know, here's how it threw me off as well. It affected my self-esteem and my confidence. I was thinking that after having my baby, I'm gonna start to get rid of all this excess weight, this excess water, this uncomfortableness when sleeping, the big foot I have, all them things. Yeah, I was expecting to get rid of it. No. A couple days after birth, and I still have a big old swollen foot, and to accompany that, my face was distorted because it was fat, it was swollen, full of edema. It lit my self-esteem. My self-esteem went to a woof, boom. Like my self-esteem went down. I was there looking, the belly is still big, everything is still looking away, and then adding edema to my face. That was impacting my face, did a big thing to me, right? So self-esteem and self-confidence for me went down the drain with that. It blinked me big, right? Let's talk about discomfort and vaginal tear and our perennial tears. I went into labor knowing that it is possible for you to get tears, but me with my little bright self now have this nice little idea of what labor will be like.
You know, so me never expect to have, I just didn't expect what I got. Like, I don't know if what could I be prepared for the program we did get. So after labor and everything, the first time that I went to the bathroom, I wasn't feeling any pain because I was on pain medication. All the area down there was numb with pain medication and all that. First time I went to the bathroom, that was a shocker. I expected to see blood. I don't know if I can say blood on YouTube, but I expected to have a flow and a heavy flow at first. That was not a shock. What was a shock was what I felt. I felt this fat thing down there, like it swell up bad. It's like swell up too. Swell up up here, swelling me a deal with. It was huge. And I remember just being and just feeling and just be like, I don't even know what me I feel right now. Like this is another area of uncertainty for me. And again, I guess it's because I am a first time mom and it's the first time dealing with all this, that I had this great unknown. So this is one more unknown, making it two unknowns that I'm dealing with, right? It's a big unknown. I went home with this now, but then guess what? When I reach home now, the painkiller wear off. So now the pain kick in. Now here is where I went wrong. Now being home, I was prescribed painkillers. However, I didn't take it right away after coming home. So I was onto the antibiotics and everything else, but I wasn't onto the painkillers. For some reason, when I got home, I wasn't feeling any pain at first. So whenever I have it in my mind, and then I was distracted with the swelling, I was distracted with the baby. The baby was a big distraction because you're trying to attend to this newborn. So at some point now, totally forgot that I need to take pain medication. Pain started to lick me left and right. Down there was so uncomfortable. I couldn't sit down properly. I couldn't do anything. And then that added on to the edema, the self confidence problem that's going on. It really drove me to number 3. Now let's finish off with this first. Now the swelling and the discomfort in down there actually got better as the week went by. But I'm telling you, it was an area of big confusion. It was swollen. So as the week went by, the swelling went down. And then as I felt, because I still couldn't see properly, because the belly is still big. My belly was still big and distended. So as the week went by, and you're moving down there and you're feeling, you're cleaning, you're doing all those stuff. As the week went by, the swelling actually went down. And I started feeling better. Try the 6 bath, that never worked out for me. After trying it for the first time, it seemed to me like down there actually got worse instead of getting better. So I actually started feeling a lot more discomfort, a lot more pain, so we never try that again, right? But I'm telling you, it was so painful. No, even now, 14 days later, it is still extremely painful. Still have to be very careful how I'm sitting, because it is an area of big concern. So that was also an impact. So I know that there's a possibility that down there is going to be impacted greatly, but I just never knew how bad it would be. And that was just a shocker to me. Now seeing the state of down here and just the edema and the experience and everything, it just brought home to me how traumatic the experience was. What then started to happen with this pain is that, and the self-esteem problem and lack of sleep, because at this point now I have a newborn baby at home and he's not sleeping at nights. I'm not sleeping at nights. I'm not sleeping in the days either, because I haven't developed a pattern yet. First time mom, I haven't developed a pattern yet. So within the first 2-3 days, I'm ready to sleep. So call it say I haven't slept from the night before, which is the Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night. I come now, and Thursday I think was when the big old breaking point happened for me. Right? So at this point now I'm like, oh my God, I think at this point I started to experience postpartum. What I thought was postpartum depression, but I found out after research that it is more likely to be postpartum blues. Well, postpartum depression is widely spoken of, widely talked about. And most people think that when they start to feel the blues after having a baby or during the postpartum period, that it is actually postpartum depression. It's not actually the case. Postpartum depression is a clinically diagnosed condition, right? But postpartum blues, most women will get during the postpartum period. So at this point, self-esteem impacted, feeling pain, uncomfortable down here, can't sleep, baby screaming at you, you're trying to be perfect, but then there's this element of fear as well. Fear because you're wondering, what have I taken upon myself? I no longer have sleep. I will never be free again in my life. Like, all these stars just start flashing back to me, and I'm like, you just started, buddies. After 9, 10 months of 10 months, 40 weeks, of carrying this child, of everything that you've done, you just start thinking about this, right? But the point is, I got so blue. I was feeling gray. And most persons talk about postpartum depression, but they don't say that when you have the baby, that you can start to become so confused and scared. And you can start to think, oh my God, what have I done? And then here's my problem. I started also revisioning the labor process. And it was just a blue or a gray area where seemed to be very sad to me because it was very traumatic for Kai. It was very traumatic. You would have heard if you're on our family channel, and if you're not on our family channel, go and visit the Delprat family, guys. So you'll have our labor videos there. All of my labor videos are there, so you'll be able to see that. All right, so go on to the Delprat family. You're missing out a lot if you're not over there. All right, so you'll hear my husband talking about his oxygen saturation level and all that was going on. So that was actually a big thing. So it was very traumatic for Kai. A suction was used, so he had a bruise on his head. He was just bruised and battered. Alright? So it was just a very difficult process for him. And I remember during that postpartum blues period where I would just feel so low and so gray, and I would just be a crying mess. I remember one night Adrian was beside me, Kai was sleeping, and I was like, you're so horrible, you're a horrible husband, because you don't know what's going on with your wife. And it was just horrible. And he was like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. So I had a couple nights like that. I had a couple blue days like that, blue gray days where I would just feel so down, so low. And I was wondering to myself, after being there, I was wondering to myself, like, what the hell is going on? Am I getting depressed? So I started researching postpartum depression, and I found out that there's actually something called postpartum blues, because everything for me wasn't quite matching up with postpartum depression. So I was like, I don't think I'm depressed, but what's going on with me? Why am I so emotional? Why am I going through the ringers? Why is this happening to me? Then I actually got to the point where I found out about postpartum blues. So if you're going through similar things, guys, look up postpartum blues, because this could actually be what's happening to you. So postpartum blues was, I think, what was happening to me. I wanted to do a video. My husband was like, you should really do a postpartum video on here, especially. I was like, I can't do it now, because if I ever do it now, it would be a crying video. So I had to wait until I got out of that mess. Like, I was an emotional wreck, right, at that point. So just everything revolving around me at that point. And then here's the next thing. I felt helpless. So I'm busy. I'm the type of person that is just busy all the time. All the time I'm up. All the time I'm doing something. All the time I'm on the road. All the time I'm doing, and I'm independent. I do everything for myself. And now I'm at the point where I am not doing enough for myself. I realize that I need to just take it slow, recover properly, and in the middle of that I kind of felt helpless and sleepless, and it was a mess. So I hope I got that down. So postpartum blues was my thing as well. What I did to combat postpartum blues is I drew on a lot of positivity. So whenever I thought, oh my God, what have I done to get this to put myself in a situation where I no longer have time for myself. I can't even sleep. Whatever. I look at when I look at Kai, when I look at my boy, it was all that thought went away. Like, he's so beautiful. He's so beautiful. So all that thought went away. When I looked at the swelling, I reminded myself that this is only a transitional period, that this won't be my forever. So I started looking forward to the day when, like, no, when I have the holy swelling. Like, I started looking to those days. So for every negative thought that came, I put a positive thought in front of it, and I started to get out of it. Of course, I prayed more. I indulged in devotion a lot more. So every morning, me and Kai we have our devotion before we leave the room. Started playing my gospel music a lot more. Started being a lot more positive, and I engaged in everything, like every single positive thought, every single positivity that I can grab onto, I did, and it helped me out from it was just so amazing. So guys, keep positive when you look at those blues. All right, when the blues moment come, keep positive. Let's talk about womb contraction. This was actually one that I knew. So I knew that my abdomen, my belly, my womb would not be in a womb, would not go back to the way it was before. I know I'm gonna have a good sized tummy to come home with, right? So I did have that when I was coming home, and I had it for a few days. However, the rate at which my abdomen was reduced shocked me. So the first few days I had a pretty big tummy, a little bit smaller than what it was before I gave birth. But however, I went to the doctor the Tuesday after, so that was the Tuesday. So I went back to my OB 9 days after giving birth. However, on day 5 to 7, I realized that my abdomen was actually reducing pretty quickly. So I am breastfeeding, which is awesome. But I just realized that on day 5, my tummy looked way smaller. All of a sudden, like, I went to sleep. My foot started to come down at that time as well. So the swelling in my foot started to go away. The swelling in my face started to go away. And also, my abdomen started to shrink pretty rapidly as well. So it was a good size reduced. And I was like, wow, this is so nice. Because at that point, I have a postpartum belt, but I haven't started wearing it consistently. I only wore it one day at that point, because I was so busy focusing on Kai and everything else. On day 7 again, I realized that there's this massive reduction also in my abdomen. So I would say within a 4-day period, my abdomen got so much smaller than it was before, to the point that it is now. So that actually shocked me. I didn't expect it to come down that fast. And that's actually a good thing. That's one of the good positive things that actually happened during this period. The fact that my abdomen came down so fast, right? That was very good. And actually, I could feel breastfeeding helping that process as well. So the good thing about my delivery process too is that my breast milk actually came in 1 day after I delivered. So while there, as soon as I got Kai, I actually placed him on the breast. So he actually started stimulating my breast from the day that I had it, from the day of labor. And the next day, I actually started producing. So it wasn't a lot, but when you squeezed my nipple, you could actually see the milk coming out. So that was awesome. And by day 5, day 7, I was actually producing a lot more milk. So I'm assuming that actually helped with the process, because while he's latched on and actually sucking, I can actually feel the pain and the reduction of my womb, which is actually painful. I didn't expect it to be that painful. In my mind, I thought it wouldn't have been a pain, but it would more be me just feeling my muscles contracting. But it was actually painful. It felt like period pains, actually. So it felt, my womb contracting felt like period pains, which was actually very good. And I really appreciated the contraction of my womb. So that's one of the positive things that I really loved. Let's talk about sleep. I am a mess. I'm doing a lot better, day 14. But I'm telling you, the first week, of being with Kai, I was a mess when he came to sleep. I didn't get half enough sleep that I was supposed to get. Night times was scary times. So like in the day, he would sleep militantly. So you can't wake him up. A bomb can go off and this boy would not wake up in the day. But at night, if you shift your leg, he is awake. His eyes are wide open, they're bright, he's attentive, and he doesn't want to sleep. So nighttime was actually a scary time for me. I was like, Lord, night I come. You know? Because at that time I wasn't quite making use of the sleep while he's sleeping. I was still busy trying to do other things, trying to get other stuff done. By now I know I actually have a little routine going. So when I get up in the morning, I try to get his bottles done. I try to give him his bath. So I have a little routine going now where I can actually rest in the day a little, so that when night come I'm not that tired. So it's not that scary anymore. But at the beginning, it's rough, people. It's rough. Like when I hear them say you're gonna have sleepless nights, like they're not kidding. You're gonna have sleepless nights. Right? I remember the first time I was so tired in the night, like my eyes were red. I was like, oh my god, and I had him on the breast and I'm trying to get this little cutie pie to go to sleep. But guys, as sweet as he was, not getting enough sleep made me a mess and made my emotional state even worse. Alright? So don't be like me. Try and get sleep. Try and sleep while he's sleeping. Alright? That will definitely make life a lot easier. So as it pertains to confidence and self-esteem, I can say at 14 days into my postpartum journey, I've learned a lot. I've experienced a lot. I've gotten the blues. I've gotten over the blues. I've slimmed down a notch. My self-esteem is coming back. Say, girl, face come back, girl. I slimmed down. Yes, may I slim down, people. You're gonna see, like, I've slimmed down a lot. And I must say, thank God for the journey. Thank God for carrying me through the journey, though difficult it was. Thank God for my baby boy, Kyrie. Like, I love that boy, like, to death. Like, he's so awesome. But there's some things that, as a mom, you have to experience yourself, I guess. Because I did so much research into the postpartum experience, and I never, in my wildest dreams, thought that it would have been this difficult. Even 14 days after, my lower sections still are not, all the way back to where it was before. We are still struggling to be comfortable, still have to be on pain meds, still going through the process. But the process is now a lot more manageable. With experience, with knowledge, with wisdom, comes an easier time and an easier process. And I'm definitely finding out that I'm starting to enjoy my time now. I'm starting to, get my little routine in, getting a pro. Breast milk is now up there, so I can breastfeed the morning, noon, and night. Like, I'm definitely starting to enjoy this postpartum period, but the beginning of it, guys, did rough. So I don't know about you, but it was rough for me. So tell me your postpartum experience. I know a lot of my sisters did not experience half the things that I did, and I did not experience half the things that a lot of my sisters did. So let me know what is your postpartum experience, guys. Let me know what happened to you. Did you have postpartum blues? What about the edema? Like that took me for a ride. I was like, what? Did that happen to you? Like, did you have perennial tears, and how did you do it? Did you do your sitz bath or your salt bath? Let me know what you did. Let me know how fast your womb actually contracted, because that actually took me by surprise how fast mine did. So let me know how it's always going for you. Also, stretch marks. Yes, I did a really good job of moisturizing while I was pregnant, and I must say that I can see the success. I have seen though that there's a little section right here that I might have a little stretch mark. I am watching it, and I'm still moisturizing. So that's one of the next important thing that I found out. You have to still moisturize even after. In your postpartum period, it's just as important to moisturize as in pregnancy, because now all of that skin is now contracting and it still requires moisture to contract without stretch marks. So guys, thank you very much for staying with me. Remember to subscribe to Cassie Does Live. Subscribe in the all on the notification settings so you know every time I post a video, right? And give me a thumbs up and leave in the comments your experience, alright? So I want to hear from you. So bye. Remember to hit us up on the Del Pride family as well. Give us a subscribe and remember to give us your like and turn on your post notification on that channel as well. Alright?